thinking about it, I don't have any trouble visualizing a single well, a gas drilling well.
Back to your question, thank you for bringing me back on track. Hydrofracking, which of course for those of us in the Northeast is a very pressing concern. It's hard to comprehend the scale of hydrofracking because we look at it and it's one rig, and then the rig goes away and it's a concrete pad with a pipe sticking out of the middle, and that you look at it and you say, well, yeah, it's not so bad. But then there's two ways of looking at it which give one a more complete perspective, and that is imagining the underground impact, which of course is a pipe that might be a mile long, fracturing that layer of shale a mile down, and of course that seems a long way away, but it's actually not so far away, especially when you consider its proximity to an aquifer. And then you can imagine possibly the most important fact about shale gas is the fact that each of these wells really doesn't generate much gas. And so to get any volume, you really have to drill a lot of wells. And I'll cite two examples. One, I was flying out over Colorado to give a presentation, and I looked down out of the commercial airliner, and I said, my God, what is this patchwork quilt I see below me? And so I went on the website and looked on satellite view, and it's hydrofracking. But of course out there it's not the mountainous areas that we have on the east, so they were able to just do a grid pattern and they were able to place these things bing, 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 and it really was like a patchwork quilt. It really looked, it was frightening. So, and Earth Justice, the great environmental group, has made a graphic illustrating the density of gas wells by placing the average number that we would expect to see over a square area and placing that over Manhattan to give the average New Yorker a sense of how many gas wells they are projected to drill.
If they implement the plan using the accumulation unit that they have in mind in New York State, this would lead to 70,000 wells, and it's the exact same thing that you saw in the Rocky Mountains because it's the same unit.
Dispersal, yeah.
Yes, it's a little, the topography is different, but I can't even begin to. I've seen the picture that you're talking about.
You can't imagine it.
Cannot. No.
And again, it's best illustrated. You can see it by looking at satellite views in Colorado. And of course, I'll probably anticipate one of your future questions, that when one projects that each of these wells, 70,000 you said, when one projects that each of those uses several million gallons of water, really the correlation one must draw, and again I'm a correlation engineer, the correlation one must draw to this is, where the hell are they going to get all that water?
Exactly.
And of course I did this project with Columbia. We did really the first big synopsis of hydrofracking and its impacts I did with Columbia University. You may have seen it.
No.
They have it, they hand it out at all of the fracking events. And the good engineers at Columbia did those numbers and realized that the projected consumption of water by the planned well sites would be far more than the actual flow of the Delaware River.
Right.
So let me get this straight. You're going to drain the Delaware River. Do I seem alarmist? I guess maybe yes, I seem alarmist. Because who could be this crazy?
Of course, now some of them think they're going to do it with propane. I'm going to leave that way for a minute.
The propane thing. Yeah, let's
leave the propane.
Let's pump propane down through the aquifer at millions of pounds per square inch. That's a great idea. I love that idea. Yeah.